I just started blogging, and the tools are great. I've been able to do all this stuff, and people interview and they say, oh, how'd you do this? And you talk about what you did. You mentioned everything about the process except for the person who got you in that spot to begin with, right? So then you kind of become a libertarian. Or what did Abe Richards say about George Bush? He was born on third base and thought he hit a triple, right? Right. You wouldn't have been blogging if you didn't know that high-powered person told you about it and got you opportunities that other people with at least your level of competency and interest, could have done had they had the right relationship. So social capital online is what I call digital capital. So it's true that most of these tools are free, and a lot of them are easy to learn, but a lot of this is the same old-fashioned old boy network. Not just what you know, it's who you know. So there's not a whole lot of incompetent people doing great stuff in the blogosphere. That's not my point. But there's some very smart people who had certain access much earlier than other people, and those are highly correlated to race, class, gender, right? And I think maybe to most of us, that seems fairly obvious. And it doesn't even mean that it's bad, as long as your politics are in line with the way in which you leverage that privilege, right? So if you said, I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for life, right? And now I'm using my privilege to open up the door for other people who didn't have the same access. I think that's morally consistent, politically consistent. Like, I acknowledge my sites of privilege. Now I'm going to make the doors much wider to let other people in, right? But in the blogosphere in particular, that's not a dominant thing. It's like they have the right political agenda and priorities, but the rhetoric sounds like Pat Buchanan. I did it. I ate Cheetos, in Vermont for 6 months when I was working for Howard Dean or whatever the story is. And, I did it so